Speaking of guys who can't find a place to land, Dee
Mm-hmm.
Strange-Gordon, our sweet D from many years ago as Mariners fans, he jumped
Mm-hmm.
around between four different teams last season on minor league deals.
Yeah, so he didn't ever make it to the bigs last year.
Nope. And now he's with the Nationals, which almost signifies a legit shot at a bench spot.
I would think so, with the way that team's put together and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they don't have, I mean, they don't have Trey Turner anymore in the infield, and I feel bad for the guy. I mean, the Mariners brought him on; they wanted to play center field because they had the Jerry Dipoto had the attitude that a guy that athletic ought to be able to play center field. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. It didn't take.
Yeah.
And I've talked about that before. That center field is the hardest of the outfield positions to play, and especially going and playing the first time in center field at the big league level, like that's tough. That's really hard.
Yeah. And I think that's what ruined his career the most was.
I think it is. I think there were some confidence issues, and that translated over to the plate, and he had some issues there. Um, I hope that he does make the big league roster, even if it's as like a utility guy, a pinch runner, pinch hitter, whatever, like a bench guy.
I
I
mean,
want to see him in the big leagues.
who doesn't want him on the bench, you know?
That kind of speed, especially in the National League, like
He has
the dude could get on for
333
you.
career stolen bases.
The dude could get you a late inning bunt, whether it's a sack
Oh
bunt
yeah.
or get you a base runner. Like he's good for that at the very least, or get on as a pinch runner and steal a few bases for you and get into scoring position. I think it's a good deal for the Nats, especially on a minor
Oh
league
yeah.
deal.
Oh yeah,
So
it's great for the Nats. I mean, he's led the league in steals 3 times.
yeah,
The NL in steals three
yeah,
times.
yeah. So one thing with this that I thought was interesting was the fact that this guy is a former big leaguer who signed a minor league deal, and I don't remember if you sent the video to me. It was Rachel Luba talking about it, but she was saying that the reason he can sign a minor league deal with the Nationals is because he did not play in the big leagues last year. So he's not going to be considered a scab. He's not going to be considered. It's not the Nats aren't breaking any rules. It's because he was not in Major League Baseball last year. He can sign a minor league deal because minor league deals are still going because they're part of a
Mm-hmm.
different union.
Yep.
So no problems there. Um, and kind of expanding on that too, because she talked about this a little bit more, and I thought this was really interesting because I know about the concept of scabs, like what you know you've got a lockout or a
Oh yeah,
strike
yeah, yeah.
and you can't play games, right? And then you bring in replacement players,
Mm-hmm.
like the movie of The Replacements. And we all know the football
Yep.
movie, The Replacements.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys they brought in were scabs. Well, now with minor league baseball, the way this works is if you're not on the 40-man roster, you are part of the minor league system union.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the owner, say the Nats owner, approaches Dee Gordon and says, "I want you to be one of our replacement players in spring training and into the big league season," if that's the way it works, Dee Gordon would be considered a scab, and he would not be able to be part of the union anymore. Right? Am
Yeah,
I
and
understanding that correct?
that's for any guy that decides to forego. Yeah, no, that's correct for any guy that really wants to say, it could be guys who have been in AAA for 10 years, who have made a career out of minor league baseball, who will likely never make it to the big leagues. Like Austin Nola, he was never supposed to make it to the MLB.
Right. Yeah.
The Mariners just had a need, and honestly, probably felt bad for the dude. He's
Well,
done great
he learned how
since.
to catch. He learned how to catch. Is basically what it was. He learned how to play the catcher position, and he's
Like
like, if
that's
I'm
how
going to get you,
desperate he was.
yeah.
And like there's hundreds of other guys who are in that same boat who
Hmm.
are like, I'm never gonna make the big league roster. Like, and they've been at minor leagues for 10 years. They're 27,
And
28,
I'm sure
29
there
years
are
old.
guys out there like a Tim Wakefield. Tim Wakefield, I think, was a failed shortstop, and he was like, the only way I'm going to make it is if I learn how to throw a knuckleball. And
Yeah.
look how that worked out for him. And I'm sure there are other guys who are like,
Oh
I'm
yeah. There's
not pitching.
plenty.
I'm not going to be a knuckleballer to get to the big leagues. And this is their shot.
This is their
And
only shot. But the thing is if they do end up doing this, then they forgo any chance at being part of the MLB union and part of the collective bargaining benefits.
mhm,
Stipend, benefits after retirement,
mhm,
um, like those long-term, lifelong benefits. They forego all those for a shot to actually play Major League Baseball
yeah,
and to be part of a Major League Baseball team. So for some guys, it's going to be worth it. I mean, if they're
Mm-hmm.
28, 29, they've been playing minor league baseball, they probably have saved up a little bit of money, and
Right.
they
Yeah.
most likely are college educated too, because they probably stayed in college a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were probably 6, 7, 10th round draft picks, 30th,
Yeah.
40th.
Well, and here's one for you. Here's one. Do you remember? Did you ever watch the documentary Jordan Rides the Bus? The story about Michael Jordan in minor leagues.
Mm-mm.
So towards the end of that, because the whole thing is about his time in the minor league system playing for the Birmingham Barons, I believe it is who it was. The White Sox, because uh, there was the player strike, which is ultimately what led to Jordan going back to the NBA, because the White Sox wanted to bring him in as a replacement player because MLB was exploring the possibility of replacement players. And he straight up told the White Sox owner, he said, I can't do that. I'm part of the NBA union still. I can't go in and be a replacement player for MLB. And that is what sent him back to basketball, is what they
Huh.
said. Is that he played in the Arizona Fall League, which is where the top prospects go.
Mm-hmm.
They were ready to bring him up to the high minor leagues, if not give him a shot at the big league roster, because he had made the improvements. Everybody gives Jordan a hard time about, can't play baseball, couldn't hit the curve, but they were saying that he was making the improvements that he needed to get to where he wanted to be on the big league roster.
Yeah.
But because of the player strike, that he wasn't willing to stick around, so he went back to basketball, which I thought was
So you
really interesting.
so you think that maybe opens the door for, like, I don't know, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray to take the diamond and
I don't know. Well, because
as
I mean, they're
replacement
part of
players?
they're part of the NFL Players Union too.
That's
So
true.
I don't think they would do it. I don't think they'd do it. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought for sure, because that was the first thing I thought of, was like, well, maybe Kyler Murray can go play for the A's and Russell Wilson go play for the Yankees for a little bit, but I don't think they'd do it for that reason.
Yeah.
So,
Probably not. No,
but
that's true.
along those lines, though, Tim Anderson did reach out to the Bulls today, because the Bulls have had I think they have like 10 guys on COVID protocol right now, so they have 8 active players. So Tim Anderson reached out and was like, "Hey, hit me up. I'll come play for you guys." He could do it. I'm sure he
Couldn't
could
do
do it. He'd
nothing
do
else.
well.
Mookie Betts too.
Mookie Betts going to play for the
Mookie
Lakers
Betts
if
can
they need it. Yeah,
ball, dude. He can
dude, I know he can.
absolutely
That dude can do
ball.
everything.
He
There's not
can.
anything Mookie Betts can't do.
Like, have you seen those videos of him, like, freaking bowling a 300,
Yeah,
hole in one? Like, he can literally play every sport.
yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is, and above it all, he chose baseball above everything else. It's awesome.